I'm not here to hype a must-have gadget. I'm here because I know how tricky it can be to spend a few $100s on a piece of equipment that promises the thrill of the slopes, only to end up with something that sits in the corner gathering dust. If you've ever hesitated at the idea of a ski trainer wondering if you'll actually use it, if it will fit in your living space, or if it will really improve your balance and strength, this review is for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the problem this machine is trying to solve. Traditional ski training usually means heading to a dryland facility, paying for a session, and hoping the instructor can mimic real-world conditions. Home gyms give you cardio, but they rarely target the specific coordination and lateral stability that skiing demands. The premium ski training machine attempts to bridge that gap by offering a simulated ski experience right in your hallway or garage. That sounds great on paper, but the real question is, does it translate into usable, everyday training without turning your home into a makeshift ski lodge? Setting it up is where the first hidden trade-off appears. The unit arrives in a fairly large box, with the oak logs, ski poles, and a rubber mat all packaged separately. You'll need a clear floor space of roughly 8 feet by 4 feet to lay the mat and assemble the logs. The logs themselves are heavy, each is solid oak, which gives the machine a sturdy feel but also means you'll need at least one strong adult to lift them into place. For most people, this is a one-time effort. Once assembled, the machine stays put. If you live in a small apartment with a narrow hallway, you might find the footprint too demanding, and that's a real limitation to consider before ordering. Once it's standing, using it feels surprisingly intuitive. You plant the ski poles in the designated holders, step onto the mat, and the logs allow the platform to tilt side to side, mimicking the edge-to-edge motion you'd make on a real slope. The motion is smooth enough that beginners can start with gentle swings, while more experienced skiers can push the tilt to a steeper angle for a harder workout. I tried a 30-minute session after a day of work, alternating between slow, controlled bends and quick, dynamic shifts. The immediate benefit was a noticeable activation of the glutes, quads, and core muscles you normally only feel after a day on the mountain. Over a couple of weeks, I found my balance on the bike and even my posture when standing improved, which aligns with what the manufacturer claims about complete body workout. Now, let's get specific about who actually gets value from this. If you're an off-season skier, a competitive athlete, or someone who spends a lot of time on the slopes and wants to keep your technique sharp without traveling to a ski resort, this machine can serve as a focused, low-impact tool. It's also a good fit for rehabilitation patients who need to rebuild lateral stability after an ankle or knee injury, because the tilt can be dialed down to a very gentle range. On the other hand, if you ski only a few weekends a year, or if you're primarily looking for a general cardio machine, you'll probably get more mileage out of a rowing erg or a spin bike. The ski trainer's niche is very much ski-specific conditioning, not all-purpose fitness. Practical strengths are easy to spot. The oak logs aren't just an aesthetic choice, they provide a weighty, stable base that prevents wobbling, even when you're pushing the tilt to its limits. The included ski poles help you practice the upper body rhythm that's essential for carving turns, something you rarely get with a standard balance board. The mat is thick enough to protect hardwood floors but thin enough that you still feel the feedback from the logs, which is crucial for developing that edge feel. Another plus is the relatively low noise level. Unlike a treadmill that clunks with each stride, the ski machine's movement is almost silent, which makes it viable for apartments where you don't want to disturb neighbors. Weaknesses tend to revolve around the same areas that make the machine unique. Because the tilt is generated by the logs pivoting rather than by an electric motor, the range of motion is limited by the user's own effort. If you're looking for a high-intensity interval workout that spikes heart rate in seconds, you'll need to manually increase the angle and speed, which can be tiring after a while. The machine also lacks any digital tracking or connectivity, no apps, no heart rate monitoring, no preset programs. That means you have to be self-disciplinary about timing your sessions and measuring progress. Finally, the size and weight of the oak logs make relocation a chore. If you anticipate moving houses or reconfiguring your home gym frequently, this could become a hassle. Value for money, then, hinges on how you weigh those trade-offs. The price point sits in the mid to high range for home.